So, Kilchoman is a distillery I was really looking forward to. Anthony Wills, back then in 2005, had this dream that he actually made happen together with Dr. Jim Swan, and the only distillery of all of Islay that is not directly on the water. Wow. So, this is an independently run distillery. Now, 2015, they actually had the possibility to buy the farm, the Rockside Farm, and that's what they did. So you can actually see here the fields going out there from the distillery where they plant their barley, grow it themselves. Now, not everything is made there at Kilchoman. About one third is made, two-thirds is bought. So the first thing we did on our tour was we went out to the malting floors. Beautiful experience. Our tour guide talked a little bit about that. The equipment that is used to turn the barley, sometimes mechanical, sometimes it's going to be shovels, sometimes it's going to be rakes. Also, in the different seasons of the year, it's different. In the summer, they have to turn it more often than the winter. Surprise, surprise there. So they actually go out to Machir Bay and cut their own peat, and they actually do the whole kiln process themselves, which I'll show in a moment. So a little bit of technology there, not very, very much. Now, Sharon, our tour guide, the first thing she did was she poured everyone a dram of the 100% Islay. Why? Her husband is the farmer that grows that, so that's very, very impressive. There we have the chariot. She put the bottle down into the grain, and we were able to take pictures. That's where all the grain comes into it, and then they actually um, shovel that all around that little floor there. Now, if you really want to know a little bit about what's happening in the world of barley, look to Kilchoman. Why? Because they stopped using Concerto. Others are just starting. They are now using Sassy, and they're actually experimenting with something else called Planet. So they actually have their own fields and they do their own thing. So 2019, 75 acres sown, 180 tons harvested, 450 barrels filled. Not that much, to be honest, compared to other places. I know in America, I think there are some distilleries that do 450 barrels a day. So, all right, that's one more look here at the barley there. Yeah. Let's move on now to the next part. So what we have here is the kiln. The kiln was not on the day that we were there. What a shame, it was a Friday. So you can actually see here where they put the the peat in there. So you have the fireplace in the middle, which is opened now, and on the left and the right you just have chambers where you actually have the air smoking. And there's a guy who goes down to the peat bogs and cuts it. So here you have a little bit of that peat. So that was outside. That was all very, very, very soggy. There is sometimes wet and dry peat that they use. They do not only smoke the barley with peat, so they also have a lot of hot air, which you see through these air ducts there. You can see the difference in the different types of peats. The rest of the stuff comes from Port Ellen, 50% ppm. Their own stuff is somewhere between 20 and 25 ppm only. So they use exactly the same barley that Atbeck is using. All right, never forget that this is a farm distillery. So, Anthony, thank you very much for doing that. So, everything, the draft has to get rid of it. So, we saw the beautiful blue trailer. Now we see the real trailer here. So, we're going to move over to the still house. At the very beginning, they had two stills, one spirit, one wash. And so what did they do after they had enough money is they actually just mirrored the system. So to the left, you have the old. When you go up the stairs, to the right, you have the new things. So it's exactly the same thing in both sides. You have the mash tun there, you have the two pot stills, you have the condensers. So you can actually see the wash tun here. That's not copper, that's copper paint. And so it's a little bit needs to be renewed there. So over there you see the old copper, the pot stills, the spirit safe, the wash tuns, and so on going on over there. And here we have the two spirit receivers on the left from the old distillery that they still use, on the right from the new distillery they still use. Here we have the spirit safe. If you look very, very closely, not there, you'll see someplace else. You always have PE for Port Ellen and then K for Kilchoman. So this is their Must be their spirit still. This must be their the opposite way. The spirit still usually has a window and the wash still doesn't. All right, very, very nice. Very small, tiny, tiny, tiny. So that's their hot water receivers there to keep this stuff from the first and third wash in there. So talking about the mash tun, you can now take a look into the mash tun. You'll see the nice little thing that turns around there, the arms that turn and spin and so on, and keep everything and change those nice little starches into sugars and get rid of all that. So this is the view. We also had a nice little warehouse moment. So that's the warehouse on the right. That's the barrels. So warehouse number 2 from our tour guide, her favorite warehouse. When we were there, they were actually building new warehouses as well. Now, this is the cast 142 from 2019. I'm not sure if that's just the 142nd second barrel of the year. So you have different colors with different meanings there on the barrel heads. Not a single hogshead to be found. Everything is American standard barrels, and or there are a few sherry hogshead. I had a bet going on with a German podcaster, and he said there's just hogsheads in Germany in Scotland. I was like, no, 20 years ago maybe, but no longer. Beautiful, beautiful dunnage warehouse. It looks new. It is new, but the floor is actually that clay, is that dirt, and they are 3 high max, so they're doing everything the traditional way. What barrels do they use there? Buffalo Trace. Now, the thing that I couldn't find out was, did they realize the difference between the W. Weller cask, which I saw, we did, and the rye Buffalo Trace? All right, so we went back to the visitor center where we had a tasting. So we had the 4 different things here. The winner of the evening, or the winner of the day for me and for us, was the UK small batch, number 9, beautiful. Platt's second place was the Madeira cask matured for 2021. That was 50%. What I did not prefer, my colleague also did not really like, was the Machir Bay cast strength. It was just a little off, 58.9%, not perfect. And what I really didn't like was the Mazzala finish. So sorry, it's a distillery exclusive, just didn't do it for me. So the only thing I had as a problem was you had 2 groups in the visitor center at the same time, and there was just a glass wall between them, and the soundproofing could have been better. All right, so the only thing I loved the entire day. It was a great, great time. The visitor center is beautiful. So I'm sure in the winter there's a fire going on there. You can eat there. We actually spent about an extra hour in the cafeteria at Kilchoman. We had the soup of the day. We had some bread. We had some drinks. It was beautiful, and I really want to support that distillery by when they have a cafeteria like that to buy something. So you could actually do flights at the bar. We have the merchandise. Once again, we have the jerseys for the cyclists and so on. So a lot of clothing going on there. I'm fairly sure that they earn more money with the gift shop than they do sometimes with the bottle that they have to sell to the wholesalers. So that's just the way it is sometimes with retail and in the alcohol industry. The markups for the online shops are much more than the producers have. So, Kilchoman, very nice color, very, very good system. It's a 100% Islay from barley to the bottle. I thought that was fantastic. What I really liked was some of these landmarks they talked about there by Kilchoman. And then what they also talked about was they talked about all the different Islay farm distillery, a rockside where they had the different farms. You could actually see that on the around there, and they talked about the 2022 barley crop. So as I mentioned, Sassy is what they're using, but they're actually experimenting with Planet, the varietal from the barley. Wow. So if you're ever at Kilchoman, take the 3-minute detour and go to Machir Bay. You just drive, and then you walk another 3 minutes, and you actually go down to this beach. It's beautiful. So on the left-hand side, it was cloudy, misty. On the right-hand side, it was blue skies. It was really weird, but it was really, really nice. Hardly anyone was there while we were there. And you just have that beautiful, beautiful sand and landscape and so on. Kilchoman is a beautiful, excellent distillery that I want to support more. I don't prefer their whiskeys that much from the taste. The peat is a little bit too strong for me, but the concept, the independence, what they're doing themselves, I must say, great job. Question of the day: what is your favorite Kilchoman? Is it Loch Gorm? Is it Zanik? Is it Machir Bay? Is it a single barrel? What was it? Thank you very much for watching. All the best. Bye bye.